welcome to episode number 22 of the Let's Go Comic Show. My name is Justin.
My friends call me MJ.
Oh, man.
I got you.
You got me. You got me. Matt, how's it going?
Dude?
How's it going, dude?
It's good, man.
Oh, man. No episode last week. Sorry, guys. But hopefully the Spider-Man Homecoming episode held you over. I feel like Spider-Man Homecoming's done. It's like done and gone.
Dude, do you feel like it went really fast.
Like, oh, Spider-Man Homecoming's coming out. And then now it's like...
I kind of felt that way with that
gone.
and Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Both feel like they hit and then they were gone, to where people are still like writing stuff about Wonder Woman.
Well, Wonder Woman now
like, hey,
currently is
going,
like the most successful movie of like the summer. It's still got them legs.
Yeah. I saw on Twitter that it's Chris Hemsworth's favorite movie of 2017.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, Chris Hemsworth, shut up.
Who cares, man?
He's like, it was my favorite movie of the year.
Just show off your abs, and that's all that people care about.
But yeah, man, that thing is come and gone, dude.
That was a fun episode, though.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice listening.
I keep thinking about all things that could be referred to as MJ, and it just makes me laugh.
Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson.
What's funny, my middle name.
Oh yeah,
starts with a J, and so
Joseph, right?
No.
No. Sorry. Not Joseph.
That's great.
No. I know
Matthew Joseph. That actually isn't too bad.
I know it. It is Matthew Jangles. No.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll with that for now, dude. Jangles. Matthew Jangles.
No, dude. It's
Matthew
not Jerome.
Jenkins.
Not Jerome. Jim, like your dad.
Yeah, James.
Okay, James. Whew. I was like, wait a second.
No.
Now let me give out your whole family tree
to everybody listening.
Let me just give out your social security number as well. All right, never mind.
So I've been good though, dude. Yeah. Sorry to answer your question.
Yeah.
Marvel Unlimited using the Thank You Spider-Man Homecoming for the code for a free month.
It was good for one thing. A free month.
A free month of comics, which I've been using. I finished up the Tom King's run on the Vision. Just Vision, I guess. Yeah,
it's only like 11 issues, right? Or 12?
It was so good.
It's not even 12?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, I need to check that one out because we got a couple.
Now Eisner Award winning.
Yeah. Yeah, he won a whole bunch of awards at Comic-Con. They were like, he brought them out on a table.
That's rad, dude.
Yeah.
What a talented guy, man. It's good stuff. But reading that, and then I've been just reading all of the Kamala Khan Ms. Marvel books. And man, like I'm fully on board.
So I get the hype.
I've never read her solo stuff. I've read stuff with her in it, like Civil War II and some tie-in things. She was in a Spider-Man issue here or there.
Yeah.
Champions. But never her solo stuff. And man, like
it's really fun.
Love everything about it. The writing is fantastic. The art is solid.
Yeah.
Characterization like just feels really fresh and new and young, and it's just a lot of fun.
Did you? I know. I'm trying to remember the last issue I read because I hadn't had Unlimited for a while, and then the next time I didn't catch up. But it was the one where she hangs out with Wolverine, but he's like depowered Wolverine.
Yes,
that was kind of a fun one. That was a good one.
That whole book is just so good.
It's fun.
Yeah, the whole run has been a lot of fun. So that's what I've been like. Any spare time, I'm just like, Marvel Unlimited, just check it out.
I'm still trying to get through that Invincible.
Dude.
I'm almost done, dude, and it's like. Comic-Con kind of ruined some stuff for me because I saw this giant banner at like the Skybound Studios booth, and it showed like other characters from Invincible. I was like, oh, well, okay.
Yes, I know what happens.
I don't know, but I'm like, what's that?
That's what you get for going to Comic-Con.
Stupid Comic-Con. So I'm
Justin went to Comic-Con.
I went to Comic-Con this year. I haven't been. Last time we were there was 2011, right?
Really?
I don't know, man. I just remember we went and saw Captain America, the First Avenger, afterwards.
I feel
was that the last time we were there?
I feel like we went another time, or two after that.
Okay, we could have. I just don't remember. I just remember the last time I was at Comic-Con that I remember was when we stayed in that apartment.
Oh yeah.
And that's when we saw Captain America: Winter Soldier.
I feel like there was another time we drove in that we didn't do it, but.
Maybe,
it's been a while
maybe
for me.
So. I just can't remember, and it's just been a big nightmare. So let me just tell you, I love Comic-Con. But when you go to Comic-Con, you really have to plan well. And I didn't have a lot of time to plan well.
Didn't have a game plan.
Didn't have a real
Didn't
good
have
game.
stuff mapped out.
I drove in Friday. Literally, I was at camp all week with my kid. Come back home, change, grab my bag, go down to San Diego. Get to San Diego about 5-ish. I'm driving
Friday?
around. Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm driving around for like maybe 90 minutes trying to find a parking space. Nowhere.
Gosh,
There's nowhere to park. And I'm like, I'm not going to pay $20 a park or $30 or $40 a park. And it was like free after 7. And I'm like, well, forget that. I'm trying to get in because I wanted to get in before. There's a few different panels, and I actually missed a panel I was supposed to go to for Batman on Film. That's how I got to go to Comic-Con. Batman on Film, like, hey, I got their credentials to get in, and I missed this like round table with Bruce Timm and this Batman animated Harley Quinn deal, and I was like, oh, I missed that. So anyways, the first day was kind of a bust. I just hung out with some friends, and we had dinner and talked about comic stuff and whatnot. So that was kind of a bummer, but I had a better
Nolan Batman movies probably.
Didn't talk about Nolan Batman at all. But we did talk about like Iron Giant and stuff, which is funny based on the news that happened the next day. Didn't even know.
Indeed.
So ended up having a better game plan, where to park and all that stuff. And so Saturday was pretty fun. Busy freaking day, I'll tell you that, dude. I was like, it wasn't like I had time for fun. It was like trying to get information and going around and
did you get to talk to any like professionals or anything?
Not
kind of stuff?
really, man. It's hard. Press pass gets you in. Everything else is like you gotta like be the squeaky wheel, and I didn't know really how.
You gotta like play the game.
Yeah, I didn't really know how it worked, but I did make some connections with some of the people that worked at the DC booth and stuff. And,
Sweet.
So that was cool. It was just based on once you get in, they're like, okay, well, you got to work that with the talent, and if they have time, they'll hit you up. Here's when they'll be back, and then like, oh, I can't do it. And so I was trying to get an interview with Snyder and
Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder's, yeah, sorry, and that wasn't going to happen, dude. Him and Greg Capullo that day, and then they couldn't, and then they said try back on Sunday. It's just going to be Scott by himself.
Right.
So, anyways, it was just kind of a big learning experience, but still fun. There's a lot of news coming out. I did get to be in the DC booth when they brought the whole Justice League cast out.
Nice.
So I was like maybe 25 feet away, which was really crazy. It was you're standing there for a while, and so when the Justice League trailer came out, I was in the crowd there waiting, and it came on my phone, and so we like a few of us watched on my phone.
Nice.
And people were like, "This is amazing!" So it was really cool, like seeing it on a small scale with all these people were like really excited about it, and you're just seeing the dumb one they put on Twitter, which is like in the square aspect ratio,
gosh,
so it's not even
that.
like the widescreen version. And so you're watching it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" You couldn't hear the word they said. You're just like, "This is amazing!" And so finally, like some guy comes out, they're like, "Hey, they're coming in," and you can hear people cheering, "Yeah, whoa!" So like they're bringing celebrities to Comic-Con because there's like
they have to get a roar coming through.
They have to get them from Hall H to the DC booth, and they don't come to the floor level part. It's like a 2-story deal. So they go up there and they kind of wave. First is Gal Gadot. She comes out and she's like in this sparkling white outfit, which is funny because, a few minutes later, this guy behind me, I don't know if he was clueless or a kid or what. He's like, I don't know which one is Wonder Woman. Where's Wonder Woman up there? I'm like, dude, it's the only. Are you serious? It's the only lady up there who's wearing sparkling white outfit. Anyways, and after her it was like Ben Affleck. So he comes out and he's like smiling and he's like taking pictures of everybody like with his phone, and then Jason Momoa's up there. It was cool because I recognized Jason Momoa's kids from this video he had of being a father like a few months back. But his kids were up there before he got up there. And then Ezra Miller and then Ray Fisher was up there as Cyborg, and he was really into the crowd. He was like, "Thank you for being here." He's like, "You guys spent your life here." And he was just like connecting with everybody. Yeah. So
I saw some of the videos like going around of them like greeting fans and like giving hugs and like talking to people, and it just looked like a super genuine, just like
it was cool
connection, happening.
Then they bring them down, and then for you to get to be able to, what they do is they give you a Justice League poster and they all autograph it, but you have to get a wristband, and so you were able to get some wristbands sometime. And so what happened is a lot of kids went through, and so they hugged him. There was a lot of viral videos of like people hugging him, and like there's this little boy. The big deal was this little boy was like, "Superman's dead." And even in Hall H, like they're like, "He's dead." But out here, like Jason Momoa's, "He's alive, man. He's alive, buddy." He gives him like thumbs up and kind of like turn the dad jeans on, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't tell this little boy Superman's dead. Dad jeans making you super when you are a jerk. So So that happened, and then so have you ever seen the YouTube show DC Kids? It's like hosted by these two kids.
Nope.
And they're really engaging, fun, cute, and whatever. And so I was like standing in the booth at one point, and they were there, and I was like, oh, that's those kids that my kids watch them. And so I walked up to them during like a little break. I was like, hey guys, can I get a picture with you? My kids love watching your show. They're like, what, really? And like the boy, he's like, that's so cool. Tell your kids that we say hi and that we're really pumped at. Like he was really excited that someone watches us.
That's rad, dude. But
there's a cool video of him meeting Ben Affleck, and he like turns around and just starts crying. So anyways, that was cool being in that. Just didn't feel the energy there with the actors and stuff. They're like,
I feel like that's the vibe. Like that's the main thing for Comic-Con. Isn't even just the stuff or the panels. It's just the general vibe. Like people are excited.
Yeah, everyone's like excited and pumped and like talking. Did you see this? And did you see that? Oh my gosh! Like
I saw Scott Derrickson posted a picture of a girl, like a little girl, saying like interacting with Gal Gadot.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. That was like a.
And so I just thought it was really cool, like what he put. I mean, because his caption for it was just "These movies matter."
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome to have like a director that's saying like, "Hey, like these stories matter." And I think it just made me think of our episode when we had our wives on talking about Wonder Woman. Like,
yeah.
It wasn't just, hey, this is just some goofy movie we all went and saw, but it's like, no, you can see like good stories like can inspire people and really mean a lot.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that was cool that he posted that. And I was like, man, that's rad.
There was a definite like Wonder Woman vibe at Comic-Con too. A lot of Wonder Womans, a lot of little kids, a lot of grown men dressed as Wonder Woman.
Well,
yeah, there you go. A lot of that.
You do you.
Yeah. But it was cool to see, people walking around and little girls dressed up as Wonder Woman and being excited about it. So that was cool. So there was a lot of cool stuff going on too, man. It was really overwhelming because since I've last gone, I feel like, man, this has just got bigger and more crazier. It's all over the streets, like you look across the street and it's like this whole building is wrapped into Defenders and this other whole building is wrapped in Inhumans and this other thing is a gigantic, Tick on Netflix display and Sci-Fi is taking over a restaurant.
Oh yeah, the Tick is out in August.
Tick is out in August. So I'll see. I didn't like the pilot that much.
What? Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, it's fine. We
disagree. I'm gonna watch the show and see how it was. It was like a fun little experience out there. Walking Dead's out there, and anyway, so it's just everywhere, man. And then being Malone kind of sucked.
Wish I could have been there for you.
I know,
buddy.
man. It was like it's kind of good to talk to people, but there's also like I can do whatever I want. So I was like, I'm gonna go through this Netflix thing I've been looking at the whole weekend, and I went through it, and it sucked. There was just nothing. It was just you walk through like a gigantic room with TVs everywhere, and it's like watch the trailer to Stranger Things 2, which was awesome.
Yeah,
and then watch the trailer for that thing that what's the freaking name? David Ayer and Will Smith are doing, Bright. Yeah, which looks cool. That looks cool. And then the Defenders trailer, and then something else. Anyways, you get a poster and some sunglasses when you're done. Like, oh, that was cool.
Well, there you go.
Hey,
you're welcome.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I was thinking, dude, they should have done like a room where you walk in and then it's like the upside down, or like they should have done something crazy like that. But yeah, I'm not in charge of Netflix. But
that's why they need to pay you the big bucks.
Pay me those big bucks. Me and Matt Ritchie will make it happen. So, anyways, there was just a whole bunch of fun. I mean, the big stuff was the movies. Like Comic-Con is all about the movies, like Hall H. What happened in Hall H? And so we talked about the Justice League trailer. So you watched the trailer, right?
I did watch the trailer.
What'd you think?
I think it's an improvement on the other trailers.
Yeah.
I think it still doesn't feel like everything kind of connects for me.
Really?
It feels like a lot of cool stuff kind of put together, but there's just something, even Wonder Woman trailers felt like at the end of it, I was like, whoa, like that whole thing was rad. Mm-hmm. And this, I'm like, yeah, I had some fun moments. Like I liked the Flash, like sticking around after everybody, and Aquaman, like just riding a parademon down through a building. Like
that's awesome.
There were rad moments.
Yeah.
But as a trailer, it didn't make me go like, oh man, like I'm super invested in this movie. I don't know. Yeah. I still thought it was fine.
I can see that. Like it's just stringing like some cool scenes together. But I think it laid out more this time. Like
it definitely felt like a little more.
It felt like, okay, people are doing their stuff. Like
I think
mostly
the
Wonder Woman
tease
and
with
Batman.
Superman though is dumb. Like I think it's dumb that they keep doing stuff like that.
I think it's good that
Alfred
he's going to return.
Been talking to anybody. I don't know. I just think
it's definitely
why
Superman.
Do that? Why do that?
It's Superman.
Beforehand,
you can see the red cape. You can see his shoulder. In the
I'm just saying, like, why do that ahead of time? But it was a good trailer though.
Yeah, I like the whole like don't reveal Superman. We all know he's there. They're using his music from like Man of Steel. Like it's all about Superman, which I'm not sure Superman's earned all of that in the DC universe yet. In these movies, like the way they talk about him, he's inspired everybody. Then why did everybody hate him?
Yeah,
you know. But maybe there's some stuff we didn't see.
But that's fine. I mean, dude, the more Commissioner Gordon, just great.
Yeah, that's good.
I think the Flash still is like a highlight from all of these trailers for me.
I actually like him more now. The more I've seen him now, I'm like, okay, the suit's growing on me.
And I like when he was there on the rooftop. He's like, oh, they literally just disappeared. Oh,
that was cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
And the effects look really good.
Yeah, Cyborg looked way better in this time. I think the effects looked a little more.
Him taking over
rendered.
like that vehicle.
Yeah, the flying fox or whatever the heck it was, or maybe it was the Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler, sure. Who knows?
I got this, Alfred.
I got this.
I
thought that was cool. I mean, I feel like trailers coming out of it are the main thing that I would see as someone on the outside. You know, that's kind of the main takeaway, other than articles that you go looking for. Yeah. So I mean, for me, the best trailer to come out of that weekend
was
Thor Ragnarok. That new Thor trailer. Holy crap! I
think I prefer the other one better.
Really?
I think it just had a better feeling to it.
Okay.
But it's still, this one doesn't mean this one was bad. I think I like the other one better. But this one just felt like a continuation of that one. Yeah. Where he's just like talking to Hulk. Yeah. And I love the part at the end where they're like talking. He's just like,
yes.
That was cool. Like seeing the Hulk talk. That little thing is like, that like.
I can't imagine.
I feel like we're both like fire. He's like, Hulk. Hulk.
Like a raging
fire.
Smoldering. Okay, you know, I just caught like in an article who's doing his voice.
Who?
Clancy Brown.
Really?
Supposedly.
Huh.
That might be completely false, everybody. But
usually they have Lou Ferrigno do his voice. It's always like, we're going to bring Lou Ferrigno back, but I couldn't tell who it was.
Put him in a sleeper hold. What I love
Please
you,
send
man.
complaints.
That's like such a great. I loved that.
Yeah,
dude,
I thought it was cool.
I have nothing but love for Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
But yeah, that trailer was just so fun, and even like the interaction with him and Bruce Banner talking about the fight, even like, and I won easily. He's
like,
really? He's like, well, it's true.
Possible? I was like, why is he wearing like a blazer in space? Did he look like he was just wearing a blazer? Totally. Like, where did he get that at? I wanted him to be wearing some crazy space outfit. Like,
dude,
why is
Jeff
he wearing...
Goldblum, he'll provide whatever he wants, you know?
That's true.
But yeah, like I just felt like I was really excited at the end of that trailer. I was like, I want to see this movie right now.
Yeah. I'm pumped for, like, I haven't been pumped for a Thor movie since the first one. I was excited for it, and then I was like,
Yeah.
After I watched it, I didn't hate Thor, the first Thor movie. It was good, but it's just kind of, it wasn't as grand as I wanted it to be. And then Thor 2 was like, okay.
Yeah, this feels like a really big one. Yeah. And it feels like once they started getting into the action on this trailer specifically, I think we've seen glimpses of it in the other trailers, but specifically this one, like a lot of people have been commenting how like Kirby influenced like so much of the look is like just a ton of like, for me, it kind of gives a payoff to things that's been bugging me about what they've done with Thor in the MCU, with making him more of like a space kind of thing, like a cosmic kind of thing where he's an alien and not as mythical. I feel like this is like the payoff of like, okay, if that's what we're saying it is, then let's go with like laser cannons and crazy stuff like that.
That part where him and Loki are just like,
I was like, all right, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good trailer. Any other ones that stuck out to you?
The new Defenders one was cool. They played the first episode to the people that went to the Defenders panel.
Nice.
And so like Jeff Loeb came out, I guess, and was like, all right, well, let's just watch this. Like, what? And so, but I've been reading reviews that say the first 4 episodes are really slow going, and it's only an 8-episode deal, you know? So there's that.
Taking their time.
Yeah. So a lot of the news came out about the Infinity War trailer. Not the trailer, but like the sizzle reel they put out, because it's not really a trailer. And so basically it starts the Guardians out in space, and then they slam right into Thor.
Yeah, Thor like hits the windshield.
Yeah. And so I'm guessing it's kind of spoilery, I guess. So somehow at the end of Ragnarok, Thor's in
flying
space
through space somewhere.
So who knows? And then like Cap's got a beard, Black Widow's blonde, which they're probably hiding underground.
I read the thing that there's 2 things I read in the description that made me super excited was a shot of Peter Parker, like his spider sense kicking in, which I'm like, thank you. we talked about
I feel
that.
like he has spider sense in the movie.
Well, yeah, but just nothing was. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. He didn't say.
Go to episode 21 if you want to hear
right
us
now.
argue about that.
I'm tingling.
No, but then the other thing they talked about Doctor Strange making like platforms like for Star-Lord to jump on. And I'm like,
cool.
Oh crap! I want to see stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm excited for that, dude. It's just a long payoff. People were complaining about how Thanos looked though, or Thanos, however you want to say it.
Yeah. Well,
What do you say? Do you say
like,
Thanos or Thanos?
I say Thanos.
I say Thanos.
I know you do.
Okay. Does it bug you when I do that?
Yeah. I let it go.
Yeah. All right.
We're good enough friends, so I'm not gonna.
But people are not happy with how he looks. I actually saw that.
Someone said something about like Bruce Willis, like purple Bruce Willis.
What?
Which now I can't unsee that.
That's really funny. I thought he looked like a Goomba from the Mario Brothers movie, but that's even better.
Oh,
dude.
that's true.
He looks like a purple version, but purple Bruce Willis. Oh man, that's the name of this episode.
Yeah, I'm not super stoked on that.
Purple Bruce Willis.
And then I saw like 5 articles of like why Thanos doesn't need armor. I'm like, who cares, guys? Like that's what he always looks like. Can we just do that? But you know what? The Russo brothers have given me some of my favorite movies from Marvel. So
yeah, I'm gonna
trust them.
It's not gonna like make or break the movie for me. I'm not a big like Thanos guy. I prefer Darkseid,
Yeah.
But whatever. Like, just hopefully the movie's good. It sounds like everyone who saw the footage lost their minds, and so I ain't gonna
great.
lie. I was trying to find a bootleg version of it,
and they're not going to release it anytime soon.
Nope. I was looking for bootleg and I couldn't find it, man. So
really, I feel like I found one pretty easily.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't have time to look until like yesterday. So by that time, Marvel, Shield agents took it down. So
well,
So that was like the big news, and then
I think slightly less comic book related, but a little bit like
Stranger Things 2 or
yeah, sure. We can talk about that one.
That was big. There was a lot of buzz with that. There was a lot of 11s walking around Comic-Con as well.
Oh, nice, dude.
Grown men walking around as 11.
The use of Thriller was perfect. Like the way that opening in the arcade where they're playing Dragon's Lair, like I just felt like I was like a little kid again.
I can't.
So I was like, dude, I freaking remember playing games like I remember that game.
You'd always fall. You had to climb up out of the hole.
Dude.
Yeah, that trailer was really good. People were pumped on that. But the other one was, I think that's where you're alluding to, was Ready Player One.
Yes. For me, that was like one of the top things to come out of there too, as far as what got me excited.
Have you read the book?
I have not yet, but our rad friend
Tom
Mays is going to get me a copy to read. I've heard good things.
Yeah, my brother-in-law read it and said it was good. But the trailer, I didn't see the trailer until I was in the press room the next day. And I was just watching. No, later on.
Just casually. I was in the press room.
Oh, no, I was just, because I had to cut something up. And so I was in there, like, I'm going to watch this trailer. And it wasn't a good version. Like, I don't know what it was. It was nice. Like not like buffering well in there. And so, sorry, I wasn't trying to sound like.
No, I'm giving you a hard time, dude.
Sorry,
it's all good.
That's where I was watching. Dude, I got free coffee in there. That was cool.
Boom.
It wasn't terrible. And I watched it and I was like,
don't be ashamed of that free coffee.
Dude, it was sucked because I was like, what is this? Because I had my headphones on and I'm watching. I was like, shut up. There's Harley Quinn. There's a DeLorean. I had no idea, like, all these
Iron Giant, dude. I totally thought of you when I watched it. I was like,
okay, so that's what was crazy.
Freaking Iron Giant. Because I was awesome.
I was hanging out with like Robert and Frankie and like their family and stuff the night before, and we were talking about Iron Giant because they saw my tattoo. I have an Iron Giant tattoo.
Yeah.
And so her sister was like, "No way, you have Iron Giant tattoo?" I'm like, "Dude, he's like one of my favorites. I love the idea of him." And then the next day, to know that it was weird. It was like Providence. It was like, this was meant to be this conversation. So anyways, so I had as Iron Giant buttons I had on my like vest.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, Iron Giant, he's gonna be in Ready Player One, just like screaming it. And so people were really excited on this.
That trailer was bananas.
Yeah, dude. It was just like, you know what it reminds me of? Lego Dimensions. Like
totally.
Everything you like in one thing. Like what? Check. Like I hope
mix and match all you want.
Dude, I hope B.A. Baracus shows up in this thing.
Dude, that'd be amazing.
Hey, fool, my van's fast, fool. Like, I hope that happens. Like, I would just put everything in there that you used to love. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm super pumped on that movie. I can't wait for that. So
yeah, dude. I think it's gonna be great.
I hope it does well because it looks fantastic. And I was like, are those Tron light cycles in there? I couldn't tell what those were.
Who knows, dude?
Like I think
There's
they're
all
either that
sorts
or
of
I
stuff.
feel like they're from Akira or something like that. They look like very, I don't know, like so Freddy Krueger and all that other stuff in there. Oh man, it's so cool. Yeah. So I know not super comic booky, but whatever, dude.
But still
looks
pretty
awesome
cool.
and
Pretty nerdy.
We can talk about whatever we want on this show.
Dig
so I'll say so real quick to get to some other news. Like Michelle Pfeiffer is going to be in Antman and the Wasp. She's going to play Janet Van Dyner, the original Wasp. What else is there? Captain Marvel's suit was released. They showed everybody what it looked like.
Yeah, like concept art.
Yeah. No, I think it was concept. Yeah, it was probably concept art. And then they said it's going to be based in the 90s. So this one's going to predate
Skrulls
everything.
Are going to be
Skrulls will be in it. Yeah.
The main villains, which is pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's one of the characters that they share with Fox. So like Fox can use certain. I don't think Marvel can use the Super Skrull, but Marvel.
But he can use just normal.
Yeah, I'm like, who cares?
Sure.
No, I'm sure people are like, the Super Skrull. Like, who cares, dude? Nick Fury is supposed to have both of his eyes, all that type of stuff. Big deal stuff.
Maybe he'll lose one of his eyes because of Captain Marvel.
Oh, maybe. Then put it on the left.
So I'm confused what that means for how old she is. When I heard that news, I was like,
huh.
So what? Like, I was just confused. Like, where does she fit in the timeline then? Because Brie Larson still looks pretty young.
Yeah, maybe she's
Does she not age?
Maybe her powers keep her young. I don't know anything about Captain Marvel really much.
Yeah,
except
not much.
She's a captain and a Marvel.
And Marvel.
So I don't know. Like I don't know how that's gonna work. Unless does she die or is she like not gonna? Because they said she's not in Infinity War, but I'm like bull crap. She's Infinity War. I don't believe anybody anymore, dude. Benedict Cumberbatch. He is not gonna be Khan in Star Trek. Into Darkness. Who was he?
Right.
Who was he?
Khan.
Yeah, stupid liars. So, anyways, who knows what's going to go on with that?
Well, then you look at the DC side of things. So they just put up a bunch of
let's jump back to DC.
Logos, right? So these weren't trailers.
No trailers.
Probably no concept art or anything, I would imagine.
What I heard is they'd put logos up and some character images and stuff would pop up. And so when the Batgirl stuff went up, though, they said that there was pictures of Robin and who else? Robin and... I forget who else they said, but they said a picture of Robin popped up or something like that.
So like Batgirl and Robin
maybe.
in the Batgirl movie?
Well, and another character. So it doesn't mean that they're going to be in there. I think that was just like a title package. So so they announced Shazam, which is the next one they're supposed to start filming.
Yeah.
Shazam.
So the director
has
been done just like horror movies. Yeah. So that's really interesting.
Yeah. So Shazam, Green Lantern Corps, Suicide Squad 2, Wonder Woman 2, which was weird because yesterday they announced it's going to be Christmas time. It's like
2019.
Why didn't you announce that at
Comic-Con?
I don't know.
Yeah. Why didn't you announce that like 3 days
They
earlier?
should have been like, and Wonder Woman 2 with Patty Jenkins, Christmas. Like, they didn't say any of that. They haven't even said that.
Yeah.
Justice League Dark, which is interesting. Like, that's still a thing.
Yeah.
Batgirl, the Batman. And here's the interesting one that where everybody lost their minds. This has been like the big deal all the last few days is... I guess they said the Flash is coming, and then it changed to Flashpoint, and people were like, "What?" So everyone's assuming right now that Flashpoint is going to be like a way to fix things that they don't like right now. And then,
I feel like that's way too early to do that.
Yeah, that's what I think. So
like, there's not really anything established, so you can't.
Well, a lot
doesn't
of
make
people,
sense to change.
Here's the big news, because like a day before Comic-Con, the Hollywood Reporter put out this article: Ben Affleck's going to be replaced as Batman. And so, which is kind of a, that's kind of a jank thing to pull like before Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So he gets bombarded with all these questions. So he goes out on stage. He's all, dude, I'm Batman. Batman's the best role ever. I'd play a monkey on the ground for Matt Reeves. All this stuff. I mean, he kind of puts himself out there like, I'm not leaving. And then he kind of reiterated like, unless, if they'll have me, I'm Batman. So it was kind of like this weird, like, well, this is how they replace Ben Affleck through the Flashpoint movie. And I'm like, they wouldn't make here's my thoughts based on nothing but my own brain.
Right.
They wouldn't just make a Flashpoint movie to replace Ben Affleck as Batman.
No.
And there's not a whole bunch of things they have to fix in the DC universe. It was just like people weren't really fond of, Batman versus Superman. But whatever, just move on and keep making movies, So the way I look at it is like, even the Flash, because you even mentioned like, well, they did that on the Flash season 3, but like no one cares about Flash season 3. And they did it in like 2 episodes kind of, and it wasn't really a great Flashpoint.
No, I know, and that's what I think. Well, the reason I mentioned that is because they're going to do the same thing. Like they're not going to do the story justice with how they're.
See, here's my thought. Here's what I think they could do. If they do Flashpoint, the coolest thing they can do is bring back freaking what's his name to be Batman's dad.
Gosh, Jeffrey Dean
Morgan. And I was like, that's why we do this. That would be cool if he does. Because the whole point of Flashpoint...
And then what's her face from The Walking Dead was his mom, right?
She can be Crazy Joker. But I wouldn't even have them be main characters of it. They're kind of sidelined through it. Because the whole point of Flashpoint is he wants to keep his mom alive, right? Yes. And I mean, it is Professor Zoom bringing him back and changing things like, I'm going to do this and all this stuff. So it does kind of tie into his origin in a different way. So it's a good way to tell his origin, but also tell a fun, like, alternate timeline type of thing that it could fix things. They could be like, hey, after this,
like these slight things.
Yeah, I mean, they could, but I think it's a way to like show like the vastness of the DC universe more so than we're gonna fix things. Like I just
think there's not enough stuff in the DCEU that's established to say like, see, look at this alternate timeline. People are gonna be like, what's different?
The Batman stuff is huge. If they use Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman, that's a big deal. Because I'm not going to lie. I don't like the idea of this being the Flash's first movie. Yeah.
I love the storyline. I don't think, and I do want to see it on the screen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good fit for his first story.
Yeah.
But I will admit, seeing Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne Batman.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean,
rad.
they could have the Atlanteans versus the Amazon War and all that stuff. You can give Jason Momoa a bleached out flat top like Aquaman. Who knows? There's a lot of cool things they could do, but again, I think all that stuff really happened in the other side, like the miniseries. It wasn't the main story of Flashpoint. Was my mom was killed. This new timeline. She's alive.
But it was him interacting with all of these established characters that were completely different, which
cool.
You can't really do.
No movie's ever done that. What movies?
But I'm saying they haven't set up enough stuff for it to make a difference.
Justice
League
will be out by that time. Justice League will already have come out, so people will know. And Aquaman will probably already be out at that time. So, and Wonder Woman's been out, so people have already experienced Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Superman, Batman, Flash. So now they're like, "What? This is crazy. This like alternate. Like, I think it could work."
Yeah, I mean, it can.
I don't think it needs to work as a reboot of things, but I think it could be like this interesting like story that he goes through. And it's different enough from the TV. If someone's like, the TV show's the same thing. It's not, dude. Like, the TV show's a whole different version of The Flash. This movie thing could just be a really fun sci-fi deal. And if they get someone like Zemeckis to do it, it'll be a freaking rad movie.
Yeah. Like, I want it to be good.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to, like, complain about it. It just, things keep happening and changing and stuff where I'm just like, oh.
There's also that.
Good.
I mean, Flash movie has been started 3 times or twice or
very
whatever.
True.
And so
this makes me wonder, was it a cause for other people to leave, or is it something where they have someone on board reworking the story and this is where it's landed?
Yeah, that's the one part about it.
I'm curious.
Here's what would have made these announcements way stronger.
Have some actual information attached to them?
Suicide Squad 2's coming out, and here's the director. Flashpoint's coming out, and here's the director. Justice League Dark, because Justice League Dark has already lost two directors already. Right? Yeah, because Del Toro's out, and then Jeffrey Lyman's out, and so now it's like, I forget who they said is in line to do it now. So it'd be really great to know who the heck's doing these movies, because it's all kind of like, the only ones you know for sure is Matt Reeves is doing Batman, Joss Whedon's doing Batgirl, and you're kind of thinking, is so-and-so doing Wonder Woman still? We don't know. They haven't even said if Patty Jenkins is doing Wonder Woman. So everything else is kind of like, maybe. Remember they announced all the DC movies a few years back? Gosh, on that PowerPoint? Yeah. And it was like, Flash.
Lame PowerPoint.
Batman. Like, one of the things that would have been cool is if they're like, Man of Steel 2. But I think they're going to do something.
Yeah, they're not going to do
Justice
anything.
League.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine. They're still going to keep that under wraps for now.
So anyways, yeah, there was a lot of that. One of the biggest, the funniest things to come out of the DC stuff, like some of the news has been like the reshoots. Obviously, there's been reshoots, and some people are like, "There's no reshoots, everything's great." And then it's even at the panel, like they're
trying to like downplay it.
Yeah, no, it's been a couple of weeks, but like now the news comes out the next day. Yeah, they're going really long scheduling, and it's mostly just scheduling because everybody's all over the place. The Flash is doing Harry Potter
people are
stuff.
doing other movies now.
And so the funnier thing is Henry Cavill is doing Mission Impossible 6, and he has a mustache. And this makes no sense to me. So he has a mustache. Paramount says he can't shave his mustache. So Warner Brothers has to digitally remove his mustache. And I'm like, shave the freaking mustache and put a fake mustache on. Like, can you put a fake mustache on?
Hey,
right?
You know, the Mission Impossible movies value authenticity and practical effects. You just can't.
Part of me is like, dude,
it's all in camera, dude. It's
so
all in
much
camera.
money removing a mustache. You know, probably more than we make in a year. Then we're like, let's.
Hey, you know
it's
what?
It's going to cost us $250,000.
If Cesar Romero could do it, they just go like the same route.
Oh, delicious!
You just get some foundation over that thing.
Yeah, dude.
It's a pretty glorious mustache.
I know it's like, dude, that one will stir your coffee, dude. That thing is huge. That thing will stir your coffee, dude. That's another name. So some of the hashtags been like mustache of steel, unite the mustache, mustache league, mustache impossible. There's been all these like funny hashtags. Someone literally did the Justice League trailer and put mustaches on all the characters throughout the whole trailer. And so
dude, I'm really curious, like, if when I'm watching it, I'm going to see scenes where I'm like, I just don't believe that upper lip.
That's what I'm saying. Now I'm going to be focusing on when Superman's on screen. I'm going to be like
he's going to be talking. Like, there's going to be dialogue that's weird because his lip is, like, not quite.
Right?
I have memorized Henry Cavill's upper lip, and that is not accurate.
That's going to be so weird.
But then you're going to see Mission Impossible 6, and you're like, man, I'm so glad they kept that real mustache.
Yeah,
I can really tell the difference.
I would have known. Like, all I need to do is get like that Wilford Brimley mustache, take it and put it on him. Like, there you go. We have archival footage of that mustache. We can throw it on anybody. Oh man. So that just to me that sounds dumb. Yeah. I would have been like, hey Paramount, we're shaving the mustache. We'll pay for the fake mustache. I feel like it's easier to put a mustache on than take one off. I don't know.
I'm no expert in facial hair. I can barely grow any.
I'm just telling you, dude. It's kind of dumb, but it makes me laugh that he's on set as Superman with a mustache.
Dude, I really want to see that.
It's like some 1960s Superman comic where it's like evil Superman's got a mustache. He's like twisting it.
Actually, we're gonna do Crisis on Two Earths. Dude, down the road, can we just film some evil Superman, like alternate reality Superman stuff?
What if the Flashpoint Superman has a mustache?
Oh man!
Like they change it. It's not that weird emo, like skinny kid who was. Remember in Flashpoint Superman?
Yeah, I loved that.
He was all like gaunt and like hidden from the sun.
I wouldn't say he's emo. He had been hidden from the sun, and
he looked that way. His hair was all droopy in his face
for years.
I know, but he just looked like he had a black suit. But anyways. I just thought that was funny. So anyways, out of the movies. So some of the, like, Comic-Con actually did have some comic book news. So that was cool.
What?
So some of the big stuff, like, people were like, Frank Miller's doing Superman Year One. And so that was crazy. So my friend Matt here was like, huh? Yeah. Right? He didn't care.
It's fine. Like, I mean, cool. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, Frank Miller did Batman Year One.
Yeah.
Which is my all-time, one of my favorite Batman stories of all time.
Is he drawing it too?
No. So here's the bad part. This would be bad if I think it'd be bad if he's drawing because he's just not what he used to be,
Yeah.
But JR is John Romita Jr., who I like him. Man, when he does Daredevil, yes. When he does Kick-Ass, yes. When he does Spider-Man, yes. When he does anything besides those things, I'm not too stoked on it. And
yeah, I'd be curious to see how that turns out.
His Superman just doesn't do anything for me, man.
So I'd imagine from the title, this is
Year One.
This is similar to what he did with Batman Year One, saying like, "Hey, here's what happened as he was getting started." Right?
Yeah, and so
which feels like it's been done for Superman quite a few times.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of the buzz was like, "Man, Man of Steel was the best," but Man of Steel the comic is really outdated in.
Gosh,
it was 86.
What year was that?
1986. It was right after Crisis on Infinite Earths. That was the John Byrne did it.
Yeah.
If you ever read it, it's a really good story. It kind of sets up like this modern version of Superman, which, to be fair, they've never really used that version in any other media. Like if people watch the movies, they're like, "Oh, it's Golly G Superman." This was like exact opposite of Golly G Superman.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of like the hey Lois, but. They tried to modernize the character a little bit. Lex Luthor wasn't like crazy scientist. He was a businessman, and he was, being a bully. And
was that the time when it led to him running for president and all that kind of stuff?
That was way later, but I mean, it was part of that timeline. You know, all that stuff was pre 52. So
got it.
Like, so basically from 86 to like 2011 was all that same. That stuff counted. But between those times, they did Superman Birthright, which doesn't negate any of the stuff from Man of Steel, but it was more of like pre-Man of Steel when Superman flew around the world and learned about their cultures and all that type of stuff. Like he kind of learned who he was.
Was that Mark Waid?
That was Mark Waid and Lionel Francis Yu.
Okay.
So like,
I loved that.
Yeah, Birthright's
that story
really
was
good.
Great.
Like they used a lot of that in the Man of Steel movie, I think. And then there's the final one. Well, there's also
say it's final.
Not final, but there's another one. Superman for All Seasons was Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb. That was a good one.
So good.
That was a really good story. Again, it doesn't say, oh, these things didn't happen. It's
kind
of
of
like
these really contradict themselves. They all kind of fit together.
It's like Year One and Long Halloween, how they're all part of that general time.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Johns and Gary Frank did Superman Secret Origin.
Yeah.
Which was really good. That one feels more akin to, at least the way that they drew Superman, very Christopher Reeve.
Yes.
Yeah, but...
Well, it's really, part of Jeff Johns' kind of history, though.
Donner.
Working with Donner and stuff like that. Would you count the New 52 Action Comics run as like a version of that kind of stuff too?
I think DC's just getting away from that. Especially with Rebirth. Like Rebirth is kind of like,
well, I'm not saying they're continuing that characterization, but I'm saying that was another like, here's the beginning of Superman's story.
Yeah, that was, I mean, I didn't think that was a terrible story. It just didn't resonate with me. I was like, this is the standard of Superman origins, right? It was just like, he's running around in a t-shirt and jeans. It looked kind of like
well, they were doing something different on purpose, you know?
I didn't care for it as much. But yeah, anyways, so this is a big deal just because it's Frank Miller and it's Year One. So just those things in general are kind of a big deal.
Yeah. And his characterization of Superman has been interesting in the books that he has done.
Yeah.
So
that was the thing. Like he always paints Superman in this like negative light. He's never like he's just
like a yes man.
He's kind of a sellout. And it's like, does he have a good version of him? And so it's interesting. And so I bet you next year Comic-Con there's going to be another Year One, and it's going to be headed by Frank Miller's Year One Comics or something. Just watch.
Really?
I'm just guessing.
Just that it'll become a thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Earth one, like graphic novels.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe who knows? Like there'll be Flash, but Flash already has a good Year One. He has Year One Born to Run that Mark Waid did, and that was really good.
That's true.
And so, and then Green Lantern had Secret Origin that Jeff Johns did in the Green Lantern.
Which was also excellent.
Yeah. So I mean, it's funny. Like Year Ones and Secret Origins, they're just different enough that like, well, here's his origin, but here's his first year.
Yeah.
You know,
here's the catalyst for him becoming this, but then here's how that worked out as he was putting it to practice.
Yeah, so it's not really his secret origin. It's like, here's what he did his first year. And he screwed around and messed up. Like Batman's origin is kind of alluded to, but it's not. In Year One, it's like, here's when he got a TV dropped on his head and when he met Catwoman and all this other stuff. So like,
it's like, hey, here's how the story of how my wife and I met and us getting married.
Yeah.
And then, okay, now we're a couple, right? That would be like Secret Origin.
Secret Origin.
And then you have and then you have Year One is like, and here's what it looked like. Yeah. You know, living together and figuring life out.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So yeah, there you go.
But on the superhero side of things, which is a little more interesting for reading.
Yeah. Wow, that was interesting. So they watched a lot of Friends. No.
That wasn't until Year 10.
That was Year 10. Year 10. So, but anyway, so that was kind of like
they should do those.
What?
Superman, year 10.
It's like Doomsday.
Hey, and I got a sandwich, dude, and I got these. What?
I totally forgot to bring this up, dude.
What?
This just in.
Whoa. Okay.
They're gonna adapt the Death of Superman in DC animated videos. I know they already did. They did Superman Doomsday. Remember that?
I do remember that. And it was one of their first ones they did. And it was not very good. It was
the first one. Now they're gonna do They're doing a two-parter.
So that'll be Death of Superman, Reign of Superman. Oh.
And they're saying they're doing the whole story.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? And they're doing Batman, Gotham by Gaslight, and I forget the other ones that they're doing.
That sounds cool.
Have you not read Gotham by Gaslight?
No, it sounds awesome though.
Dude.
Is that like Victorian era Batman?
It's freaking Batman and Jack the Ripper, dude.
Shut up.
And the art's it's by I think Brian Augustine. Correct me if I'm wrong. Internet, hit me up. And the art's by Mike Mignola, like Hellboy.
What?
Dude. I
want
have
to see
it. I'll let you read it.
Animated movie in that style.
Yeah, dude. I have it.
Yes,
It
please.
kind of kicked off the whole Elseworlds. That was the first like book to kick off Elseworlds. It wasn't called Elseworlds, but it was. And it was so good, dude. Oh, man.
That's
that
cool.
was good. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. So that's... Anyway, sorry. That just reminded me. I was like, oh, dude.
Dude, speaking of Doomsday.
Yeah.
You like that segue? Doomsday Clock.
Yeah. Okay, I thought you were
Coming
talking
out
about
in
Doomsday's going to be on the
November.
Krypton show.
No. We'll have Doomsday on the show next
Doomsday.
week.
He's like, hi, guys. I'm here. Speaking of Doomsday, sorry.
That'd be the worst because every time you get rid of him, he would come back stronger to the show.
Like, hello, everybody. I'm back. So today, funny
I'm
story.
back and I can do more.
My kids wanted to watch the end of Batman vs Superman, so I'm like, okay, fine. It's a
Really?
slug. Yeah.
Okay.
They like it's a slugfest. They just like to fight, right?
Yeah.
And there's a part where Asher laughs. He's like, "There's Doomsday's butt," and then Oliver's like, "I missed his butt." So this whole conversation of like, "I want to see Doomsday's butt."
What?
You know, kids are obsessed with butts.
Dude,
And
that's
I
funny.
was like, dude, turn the lights off in the bathroom and look at your butt. That's what it looks like. It's gray. You don't need to see Doomsday's butt.
Yeah, no reason to
Man. It was
rewind.
like, he was like, oh, I want to see his butt. I was like, who cares, dude? Anyways, this
Good
is the
grief.
Doomsday segment of the show.
I know.
Woo.
Almost had a good segue there.
There we go. Sorry. You can't bring up Doomsday without bringing up Doomsday's
butt.
Doomsday's butt.
Everywhere he goes,
Man.
there it is.
There you go. There it is, right behind him. All right. All right.
Can't
So
escape
get
it.
to Doomsday Clock.
So Doomsday Clock, the interesting news coming out about that, we actually knew that was coming already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's Watchmen tie-in, time
Yeah.
to Rebirth. Seems like it's going to, even if it doesn't wrap up the entire Rebirth story, it's going to be a pretty big monument as far as like the unfolding of that story. And so that's overlapping with Metal,
Mm-hmm.
coming out in November, the
Yeah.
first issue. It's running for 12 monthly issues.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't something that DC's done before, but that story is going to actually be in the future.
Yeah, it's going to take place in the future, and the other stuff's going to catch
Everything else is going to catch up. So everything will be by issue 12 of Doomsday Clock. Everything else will be caught up to that, which that sounds like a nightmare to keep track of logistically for editors and stuff. But hey,
Yeah.
if they
I
can
don't
pull
care.
it off,
I'm
sweet.
just going to read it.
I'm just gonna read it.
So here's where my brain's at. Do I buy it or do I wait? But I'm
And
really
just get
excited for it
All 12
because,
issues at the end.
dude, I love Jeff Johns.
No way.
And
Stuff's
Gary
going to
Frank.
get spoiled. Like, you're not going to be able to
Yeah, I know.
escape stuff once that hits.
That's true. I haven't been spoiled on Dark Knight 3, by the way, and I want to get that.
Nice.
I don't know anything about Dark Knight 3. When it's done and collected, I'm going to get it. So, but yeah, man. So yeah, Doomsday Clock is going to be awesome, man. I'm really excited about it.
Sounds exciting. I mean, and I know we've gone back and forth and said, like, is it the obvious of Dr. Manhattan being behind stuff?
Yeah,
is it
they
something
pretty much
else?
said that,
And
though.
he like straight up said it at the panel. That,
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to be
Dr.
like
Manhattan.
DC versus Watchmen, and Watchmen is kind of to bring grim and gritty.
Yeah.
And,
Well, the art, some of the art that they showed that they released was had the famous tagline of "Who watches the Watchmen," and it's an image of the Justice League.
yeah. They're all, us, fool? Now
Yeah,
what?
we do.
We
What are
watch you.
What are you going to do about it? So that, I mean, like I said, that overlaps with Metal,
Mm-hmm.
which, dude, have you looked at the checklist for that thing recently?
Yeah, I was like, I thought this wasn't going to have any of that. So
It's
I
not
don't
going to
care.
have tie-ins or any of that. Oh,
I'm just
yes,
going to
it
buy
is.
the straight up Metal stuff. And
Not going to get the tie-ins and stuff like that.
if I'm buying the book, I will.
Maybe the one-shots, though? Because here's the thing. We have evil Batman from the Dark Multiverse.
Yeah.
Each getting their issue, and they're probably going to be in other issues, I'm sure. But you have the Dark Knights, the Dark Knights
Knights.
with
That's
the,
funny
with a K.
because there was okay, so
Yeah.
just behind the curtain, I had no idea what Matt was talking about. Like before we started the show, he was like, "Yeah," and then the evil Batman thing. And I was like, "What?" But I saw people with shirts all
Did
over
you
the
finish
internet.
reading the casting?
No, I'm still like, a
Oh
few
my
pages.
gosh, dude.
Dude, I've been so behind.
Guys, I'm
on
so
comics.
sorry.
I know. Again,
So of course
I've been
this doesn't
busy.
make any sense to you then.
I didn't finish that. well, now I know what's happening. So there's people wearing the shirts. Like, I was like, why? That's a. I was like,
with the symbols on them.
Yeah, I was like,
cool.
That's a dumb looking shirt. It's like a Batman
really?
symbol with a Green Lantern logo on it. I'm like, that's stupid.
Oh,
I was just like,
I was like, I think those kinds.
I was like,
I guess
did
not cool.
did that guy buy a shirt online? What a stupid looking shirt. Sorry.
Oh gosh.
And then, but I
see, I kind of like the Flash one, but I also appreciate the Flash more than you do.
Flash appreciator. I think I even put a picture of it on the Instagram of like, they have this, at the DC booth, they have this gigantic like Batman with a pentagram looking thing. And on each point, there's like a Batman logo.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that must be part of metal. And that was
there's like a Wonder Woman Batman and a Cyborg Batman. And so, I mean, they released some art for some of them, not all of them, but you have, so I think it's probably the Cyborg version, I'm guessing, called the Murder Machine.
I like that. That sounds awesome.
The Flash one is the Red Death.
I like that.
It looks like a Doomsday Batman, which is the Devastator. One that kind of looks like Ares, I guess. The Merciless. And you have a female Aquaman looking Batman that is the Drowned. And then you have... can never understand you.
Why are you
And the Green Lantern one is called the Dawnbreaker.
Ooh. The Dawnbreaker.
Voyage of the Dawnbreaker.
That's a dumb name. Hey, the Dawnbreaker, get over here.
But then you also have, I'm trying to think, there's one or two that they didn't have in there. Maybe that's the Wonder Woman version is the Merciless, who knows. But then you have the Batman Who Laughs, which we haven't seen any art for yet. It's interesting. So seems to be a Joker type of thing going on.
Martha Wayne.
Spoilers, everybody.
I don't know anything. I didn't even know about this.
Like you don't know anything.
I didn't even know about this.
You need to read the comics to know anything, dude.
I know. Dude, tonight I'm going to go home. I'm going to like consume some comics some more.
Do that.
Yeah, because I'm a little behind, but I'm getting through Invincible.
Yes, making your way through Invincible.
From like 10 years ago. I'm going to get through that.
All you needed to do was look at that banner. Yeah. You've been reading the books like a sucker.
I know.
So talking about metal a little bit, any other news from that struck you coming out?
Yeah, Hawkman is going to come back. So they're talking about like how the idea of metal is Batman's working on this case that Carter Hall used to work on back in the day. Well, Hawkman, I didn't really say Carter Hall. That Hawkman was working on, and so there's a plan to bring Hawkman back. And so
there's a one-shot issue called Batman Lost, but then there's another one they announced called Hawkman Found.
Hey,
which sounds like Hawkman from the New 52 died in Hawkman, Death of Hawkman, or Hawkman Dies or whatever. Yeah. And this seems like a pretty clear-cut way to bring back the original Hawkman.
Well, I mean, and Hawkman always reincarnates, and so that was kind of part of what Jeff John established a long time ago. Right. Which makes sense. Like, oh, okay.
Thank you, Brightest Day. That was a good Hawkman story.
Yeah, Brightest Day was, man. We need to do that Brightest Day episode.
Then it got cut short.
Oh, man. And they brought us the Rob Liefeld version, which sucked. Okay. He's like, I'm so angry.
Savage
Hawkman.
So savage.
He's like, hey. It'd be cool if he was like Macho Man, Hawkman Savage. He's like, oh yeah, I'm Hawkman, brother.
So savage, brother.
Oh yeah. And like Miss Elizabeth is Hawk Girl. And you're like.
So something they also haven't shown.
Sorry.
Something else they haven't shown much, but word is out at least that a Shazam book.
Yeah, they kind of hinted to it. Well, Scott Snyder said he was going to write Hawkman after Batman, after he like closed up his Batman stuff. But really? Metal got in the way. Like he had to get metal going and stuff.
Yeah.
So there was a chance he was going to do a Hawkman book. I'm like, oh my
dude,
gosh.
That would be.
I love Hawkman.
Incredible.
Dude, Hawkman is just a cool looking dude. Like I know he's kind of a joke.
Is he a cool dude?
He's a cool dude. Dude, Hawkman was such a problem that DC had no idea what to do with him that they once sold him to freaking Baby Ruth to do a commercial back in the 90s.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah. No, I totally remember that.
Like they had a fast guy.
Cheesy as all get out.
And it was like this dumb Hawkman thing because they just didn't know what the heck to do. And then Jeff Johns.
Like, dude, I got this.
So he's like, oh, I can figure this out. Thanagarians crash landed in Egypt. Duh. And then
he got his powers and now he reincarnates all the
time. Anyways, so good.
Yeah, he's a good character. So, I mean, him having some stuff coming out of metal is a cool, like, hopefully that's the thing. And then Shazam coming back into the mix, especially if they're going to start working on his movie.
Yeah, and they were calling him Captain Marvel a lot too, like in the interviews and stuff. Like,
really?
It wasn't like Captain Marvel.
Maybe they're going
Marvel
back
family.
to calling
That'd be
him
weird,
Captain
though.
Marvel.
You can't.
But then you
like,
have a Captain Marvel.
DC's like, we don't care, dude.
No.
He's like, we don't care. DC don't care.
DC don't
care. We're like, what? That's what DC stands for. Don't care. Don't care comics. Don't care.
Don't care comics.
We don't care about Marvel.
See, okay, interesting. This is just like a tangent a little bit. Talking to our local comic book shop owner, Adam, today.
Yay.
He was just talking about how, like, in his experience, like, interacting with publishers is like Marvel, like, doesn't give a crap. Like, they're like, whatever, you're going to buy our stuff. Like, we don't need to do anything special for you guys or treat you anything well. He's like, but DC always has, like, cool setup, and they're super friendly, and they're, like, giving away free stuff. He's like, and it's such a different experience between the two. I just thought that was interesting. So I was thinking, like, don't care comics. Like, no, they actually do care.
Do care. No, DC doesn't care about, like, things about, like, what other people think is what I mean. Oh, yeah, they do care. But we do care about you, the consumer. You're going to buy Brightest Day comics? Free Green Lantern rings. Remember all that stuff?
Oh, dude.
I still have all those rings,
I think I still
from
have
Blackest
those.
Night. There's somewhere. And a Flash ring. And then they did Legion rings. They just like, rings everywhere.
Everybody
Anybody got
gets
a ring?
rings.
What character has a ring? They should have done one for, like, Dial H for Hero.
You get a comedian ring.
You get everyone's got rings. They need to do a series called Batman Ring, or he's got rings. They could have gave a ring with that
ring.
Jumping ahead a little bit, like in that Batman meets the Legion of Superheroes comic book, they gave Batman a flight ring. That was kind of funny.
So fun.
They could have gave a flight ring out for that. Anyways, we'll get to that in a second. But so let's kind of catch up on news more. Okay, so Marvel's jumping over to Marvel. You done with DC? Is there any more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm.
Yeah, more information is going to come out later, and we can talk about it. So Marvel had, I didn't feel like there was a lot of Marvel stuff. They kind of talked about Legacy a little bit more. Here's one that's got me excited. I'm not a huge X-Men guy, but I am a fan of these, like, that Fantagraphics has put out these hip hop, like, family tree, like, comics, and it's the history of hip hop, which is interesting to me. Not like I'm this big hip hop guy, but, like, I like late 70s, early 80s hip hop. I just like all that stuff. It makes me.
Don't even get him started on Run DMC.
Don't even get me started. Run DMC, dude. What? So the artist, oh my gosh, I had it in here and I don't see his name anymore. Ed Piskor, that's it. He does that, right? So anyways, Marvel's having him, like, do this, and I might even buy this. He's basically taking, like, the first 280 issues of Uncanny X-Men, and he's doing like a mini series of it all.
Whoa.
And combining all the history into, like, I think it's only 6 books, but they're going to be, like, double size.
That's
the same
intense.
size as the Fantagraphic books. And he's got a weird style. His style is not Marvel superhero. It is, like, kind of cartoony and weird. Like, he's, if you, in your head, you think about, what does an indie comic look like? That's what it is. Like, it feels like the Hernandez brothers and stuff, like the guys who do Love and Rockets. It feels like it fits in that theme of just weird comics. And anyways, I'm excited for that. I saw that. I was like, what? That got me excited. Like, nothing else that Marvel's doing had me pumped. I heard about this, and I was like, I'm going to get that. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
So check it out if you can. Like, he's doing it. It's going to be called X-Men Grand Design. So that was cool. And then everything else didn't seem like anything interesting. Like, they're doing Mojo Worldwide crossover in the X-Men books. A lot of it was just like, here's what the new titles of Marvel Legacy are going to be. So Spider-Man, Deadpool is going to be Spider-Man versus Deadpool. And stuff.
Does it seem to you like a lot of news is happening outside of the con now these days, to where, like, as far as details and actual information go, like, they might announce that something's coming, but I feel like the last few years, just not a lot of info has actually come out.
It just depends on what panel you go to. Because I went to some of the DC panels, and some of it was like, yeah, and coming up in a couple months is going to be this. You know, it wasn't like a big deal. It was like, oh, the guy who writes Cyborg, and he was talking about, you know, it didn't sound interesting to me at all, by the way. Like, I'm like, man, why are they're doing a Cyborg book because he's in the Justice League movie. It did not sound like a compelling, like, comic, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing really stood out to me. So the Flash books, though, sounded really cool what they were going to do. They're really trying to build, like, Thawne up into this anti-Flash, which, he's Reverse Flash, but they're, like, really trying to, like, bring this idea of the negative Speed Force. So it sounded interesting. I was like, Matt will probably love all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, based on today's issue.
Yeah, I haven't read
some of that is touched on.
So, And then they talked about Mr. Miracle. Sounds really great. I'm excited about Mr. Miracle, man.
Yeah, like the ad pages that they've been doing it.
Yeah.
Have you seen those where it's like the different panels of his face, but it's kind of like glitching and stuff?
And then they had the
that.
In the back of Batman last week. They had like a few pages of it.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Like Orion's in there, and it has like a really fun tone to it. So it's gonna have some, and I love that. I love all that stuff. So, yeah, Tom King was talking about how he writes riddles and stuff, and he's like, yeah, I just steal them.
Oh, seriously?
Someone asked him like, "Hey, how do you make riddles?" Like this kid. This kid was great, by the way. He's like, "I want to write DC comics when I'm older, and how do you do stuff?" And they're like, "Google, rip stuff off." So, yeah, and
steal like an artist, man.
And so he said, there was a riddle. He said, "Knock knock," and they're like, "Who there?" He's like, "Europe, who? Europe who?"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he had a really interesting thing that he said. He said the difference between a joke and a riddle. He said a joke is unexpected and a riddle is the opposite. A riddle solves a question. Jokes build tension. Riddles relieve tension. I thought that was cool.
Interesting.
Like that's what he saed. That's the whole point of the whole story. Is like
the
figuring out the difference.
Riddles.
And even in the last episode with the last issue of Batman with Kite Man and stuff, the Joker's explaining like, what is a riddle? Like, is that a joke or is it a riddle? And Kite Man's like, what? And so they're starting to bring that thread out. So anyway, sorry, I jumped back into DC, but
no, it's fine. I feel like that kind of wraps up.
The panels were kind of more like, oh, here's what's coming out in 3 weeks. I think the bigger stories usually just get released through, CBR, Newsarama, and whatever. Let's Go Comic Show. So, stuff like that.
That official news coming out.
Yeah, the information is like kind of like the big deals, like metal and all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
that's where they kind of got more of the information. So, anyways, let's jump into smelling those floppies, Matt.
The smell of floppies.
So last week,
it's been a lot of weeks,
dude. I got
because we didn't record last week.
No, we didn't.
And then the week before we recorded, but we didn't talk about the comics we got.
We didn't.
Dude, there's so many comic books. Like I had to break it up over like 3 different visits.
Really?
Just because there were so many. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be busted if I come home with all these at one time.
I don't even know what I. You know what? I know I'm behind 2 issues now on freaking Commandy. Because the newest one, I missed issue 6 and I saw issue 7 today. I'm like, dang it, I got to get that.
I saw Francis Manapul is doing a cover for one of them.
Oh,
and it looks so good.
He's probably doing the next one. Like
so I might get one of them, just one random
just for
one.
it,
just for it, dude.
You can look at mine.
Just look at. Hey, you can look at mine.
Yeah, you can look at mine.
Yeah, dude. I have what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 comics, dude. That is a lot of comics.
That you didn't read or that you got today?
No, I only got like half of those today.
Oh, man.
But yeah, man, catching up on a few different things.
Yeah, I haven't even read stuff in the last few weeks.
Some of your stuff. So why don't I go through some of my stuff then?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about a couple of different things. Maybe before we even get to rating these books that we've been reading, we want to plug hashtag Let's Go Comic Shop.
Yeah, that's right. We got to do that.
Let's use that hashtag, guys. Let's get the word out. Where are you going to pick up your books? Where are you going? I don't know why I asked that question twice.
Is your comic store rad? Do you have a great store?
Is it kind of weird?
Is it weird?
Because that's okay if it is.
Is it in a gymnasium where people do ballet? Like, what's up with your store? We'd love to know about it because it's just kind of fun and like maybe like have a bit of a, insight to what's going on in your world. I'd love to hear some stories. So
yeah. So out of that, let's talk about our rating system here for Let's Go real quick. As we go through these and we tell you what we think of them, we're gonna have a few options here on what we're gonna say. It's gonna be at the bottom a don't go.
Don't go. Don't buy that. Why'd you buy that?
Yep,
why'd you buy my thing?
Next,
we gotta find something else to dog on.
I know, right? The next one would be go.
A go. That was good.
Yeah.
Glad you bought that.
Above that is a Let's Go.
Hey, you should buy that. That's a good book.
And the most enthusiastic rating we could ever give. Gotta go.
I gotta go. Why are you not reading this book? You know what?
Awkward pauses.
I would say, why are you not reading Superman? But this is the second issue in a row that I'm like,
we're just getting straight into it. Tell us what you thought of Superman.
Dude,
Superman was at 27.
Yeah, and I think probably came out last week because I was gone, and man, like I saw the cover and I was like, oh, it's Superman and his son flying and looks like a beautiful
Declaration.
And and it's all Declaration Part 1. I'm like, ooh, what's this about? Dude, this comic is about Lois Lane renting a Winnebago, and they're going to travel across America to take a break. And it is so heavy-handed. It is the most heavy-handed comic I've read. And it felt like one of those comics they give to you when like someone comes to your school to talk about drugs. And they're like, drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs because drugs will make you dead. And you'll turn into a terrible person. That's how heavy-handed it is. It's like...
Is this still the same writer? Same
dude,
team?
Yeah, dude. And it's Tomasi and Gleason.
That's really interesting.
It didn't sound like them. It sounded like an intern was writing this. Like, hey, you know what? We're doing a fill-in issue. Let's be... And here's the thing. It wasn't like it was bad stuff. It just felt like, okay, let's talk about, like... Oh God, and I'm going to sound terrible the way I explain this. And I'm not saying that I don't think these things are important, but it's like, there's this lady who fought in the war, and she was a woman back in a long time ago, and she was never recognized. I never heard about her in history class, Dad. Maybe you should ask your history teacher. Huh. Thanks, Dad. And then, hey, what's that coexist sticker mean? Well, this stands for this, and this stands for this. Maybe we all should just get along better. And then they go to a diner, and there's like a vet there, and his legs are like, missing.
So they're kind of like hitting all the major,
every like major
heartstrings.
Yeah, not even heartstrings. It was just like, it was really like, I was like groaning in my head, like this doesn't even. It's not even fun. It's not even done in a good way. I feel like you could have done that in a good way and not been like. There was a part where like the guy is in the restaurant and they're like, get him out of here. He makes a commotion, and Clark Kent's all, you have all these celebrities on your walls who don't do anything for you, but this guy, and it was like, I was starting to feel bad. I was like, man, Superman kind of a downer, dude. So
hey guys, in case we didn't say anything, we're gonna go ahead and spoil these comics for you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm spoiling Superman 27 for you. So, and I absolutely love this like comic, but the last two issues have been kind of. The last one wasn't written by Tomasi. It
was a different writer.
Yeah, and the art is not. I think I would have liked it better if Gleason was doing the art at least. And it was a different guy, and it just didn't feel right. And so, I don't know, man. It was.
So what would you rate this guy?
This book. Can I be awesome? Can I be honest? This is a don't go.
Wow.
This is a don't go. This throws off the average.
It does.
If I wasn't a completist with this,
Superman's been like your one of your top books.
Been one of my top books. This is terrible. It was terrible because I felt like, maybe part 2 is gonna be like, oh, it's amazing, but I feel like part 2 is just gonna be like, good thing I knew all that stuff about history, Dad. Now we're able to stop Brainiac or something. I don't know. It's gonna be something like that. And so I just, I wasn't impressed. And so yeah,
man. I think, I'll go off of one from last week.
Yeah.
I'm all turned around on what week any of these are from, so I'll just hit a couple of them. So Trinity number 11, that is Dead Space Part 3. Yeah. So that story wrapped up, and I just love Francis Manapul's art, and the idea of the story is awesome, and he's just grown so much as a writer too. What's
the general idea of the story?
The Trinity, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly from 3 issues ago what the cause of it was. If it was a distress call or something happened to where they were summoned to the Watchtower in space, and when they got there, all of the Justice League members, besides the 3 of them, have all been kind of like taken over by aliens. And the Watchtower is like broken and falling through space, and it's going to crash into Earth. And lots of good little moments here and there. I don't think it was anything earth shattering as far as like reveals and twists and stuff, but it's just really good,
story.
Man. Just really
and
solid
sometimes
story.
It's the creative team that makes it even like a mundane story. Like, at least it was another issue by Francis Manapul, and his art's great, or whatever. And it's, sometimes you can just appreciate like the prettiness I'm like, okay, not every conversation is going to be great, but man, you look good, girl.
Well, for me, it's always this like balance and this threshold. I know I've talked about it before. Like the art and the writing kind of like play off of each other to where if it's really great writing, maybe the art, if it's not as good, like that's okay. And if the art is really excellent, then maybe the writing doesn't need to be like amazing. It can still be enjoyable. But man, if you have one of those like falls out of balance too much, it's just not a good book. But so I would say Trinity, let's go for that arc. And that's been really good. And I also got Aquaman number 26 last week, and that is still excellent.
Really? I need to read those.
So good,
like,
man.
Once I get through all my stuff, I'm going to read Aquaman.
Yeah, like I'm excited about the writing. The concept for the story is really cool, and the art is gorgeous. Like, and
the art was great.
You had someone exclaiming Neptune's balls in this issue, which was incredible.
Neptune's balls.
Yeah, so no spoilers or anything for it, but it's really enjoyable, and I would say that is a let's go as well.
Nice. So
do you have a couple? I'll
I'm going to bring so Batman 27, which came out last week.
He's going to spoil it for me right now.
No, I'm not. I won't spoil anything for you. Promise, buddy. I was kind of bummed like when I got home. I was like, oh man, my comic's all bent up in the corner. I didn't even know that. It's not going to matter. It's not going to be worth anything. But it just, this is one of those deals. I'm tempted, like, I want to buy a new one. But this is, continuing the war of jokes of riddles, but it's an interlude. So it's not really like part of the main storyline, but it does fill in a gap or so. And it's still Tom King, but it's Clayman on pencils. It's not Michael Yannon. And he tries his best to mimic the character like of Joker and Riddler in this book, but it's really a story about Kite Man and where he is in the midst of it and how he kind of comes to be. And I won't say anything else. It's a go.
Man, Batman and Superman. Both,
yeah, it's
like,
a go. To me, it's not. There's a lot of bouncing back and forth, so it lost me. I had to kind of reread it a few times because, like, did they put the pages in the wrong order? It's not a bad book at all. It's just it's kind of a dip in the middle of it, and all so right. Here, enjoy it. But so I give it a go. In the grand scheme of it, maybe more of it plays out. Like if Kite Man kind of his role becomes a little more clear as the story goes on, you might go, oh, I mean, it's not a bad story, but...
Well, he's been kind of in the mix here and there, and so it's kind of fun that there's going to be backstory on someone that's kind of been... Yeah. To this point, has only been in certain, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like panels just...
Like, I like when he was in the Kite Man, like he was in like earlier in the run.
The Tom
there
King
he was.
run, yeah.
Yeah, there's Kite Man.
There's been a couple of things where he's just crashed in and be like, Kite Man, hell yeah. And, and that's literally it. Which is really fun to have a character like that too.
Yeah. So
I'll do another one.
Yeah.
Flash 26 and 27.
Yeah.
I've been keeping up with this arc, Running Scared. So that wrapped up today.
Did that start with the Green Lantern issue?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. I need to finish up and read those then.
Yeah, I'll hand them over to you.
Yeah.
I think 25 is another part of that. So love it when Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne is back in the mix. I would still say this is probably just a go for me. Mm-hmm. Similar to what you're saying about Batman, I think there's sometimes when I'm watching a show, like on Netflix where it's like, overall, this is a really good show. But then there's stuff where I'm like, I'm just watching this stretch of episodes just so I'm still in the know when stuff happens down the line, not because I'm actually like really stoked about this. Does that make sense? And so
kind of like that's CW Flash.
Hey, that's what these two issues have been for me, has been like, like I'm not like mad that I got them, but they're also not like knocking my socks off or anything. So.
Cool. Last one I'll talk about, because there's still a whole bunch more I haven't read Bug 3 yet. I got
we hadn't talked about Bug.
I know. There's a lot of Michael Allred in our life right now.
That is not a bad thing.
Yeah, no. Doom Patrol 7 came out, and that's like him on that book with Gerard Way, and so I'm really excited to check that out. Like, oh man. So Defenders 3, I'm not even all the way through it, and I'm loving just the halfway that I got through it today. And I know
the first two issues
came out 2 weeks ago.
Great.
It came out 2 weeks ago, so that means next week there's another one probably waiting for me. But Defenders is so good, man. If you're not getting Defenders by Marvel, check it out. Like if you're like interested in the show, or you like the previous Marvel Netflix show, it's such a good comic, and it's Bendis, and it's David Marquez, and just a good team, and I think it's hands down really really a great comic. And so cool. I'm gonna, even though I've only read half of it, I'm giving it a let's go, because the last two issues have been great. And so just if half of a comic can make me pumped, there you go.
Totally. So I think the last one for me as well, in this run, this stack that we're making our way through, is I caught up on issues 2 and 3 of Victor Laval's Destroyer. And this book is rad. Yeah. Like, it's beautiful to look at, wonderfully written, super intense, and it's dealing with Frankenstein, the original novel, is actually one of my all-time favorite books. Mm-hmm. And so anytime you go back to that well and can incorporate that mythology in a way that makes sense, I think wins. And this story is something that I think you can tell the writer he's coming from a place of really deep conviction. Like, you can tell, like, there's something he wants to communicate, and it's not just a story to him. Yeah. Like, there's definitely, I mean, you can't name something Destroyer and have it be based around a black mother using technology to bring back her black son as like a kind of Frankenstein because he was wrongfully murdered by police. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely something to say when you're creating a story like that. But the way it's being told is, like, I think that could go really wrong really quickly. You know, it feel really ham-fisted or heavy-handed or whatever, or preachy. And this just feels like a super compelling story. Nice. And these covers alone are
covers are awesome.
Ridiculous. And
I have issue 1, right? You gave me issue 1.
Yeah, I gave you issue 1.
It's in my stack.
And always a plus for me when I see a little thing that says number whatever of 6.
Hey, it's limited.
I'm like, yes, I'm going to have a beginning, middle, and end to a story.
Would you be willing to sell them to get the trade?
Ooh, I don't know.
You know, not to me, but just in general. Like I'm just thinking, like, would you sell those to get a trade? Because sometimes I'm like, man, I can't wait for the trade. And
right, you can feel kind of stuck. Now,
but I'm like, oh. But
that's when I read your comics.
Yeah. Then at the end, you're kind of like, but I want to put it on my shelf because I think I might want to pull it out again.
Totally.
You know? So
no, I'm coming to that point with a lot of my books. Actually, I kind of went back and organized some stuff this weekend, and I was thinking, oh yeah, I kind of want to just have this story available to read. So with Destroyer, I don't give away Gotta Go's a lot, so I'm just gonna. This is a very hearty let's go, and I'm really curious to see where the story's going. But I'm digging it a lot.
Cool. So let's
smell the floppies, man.
Smell those floppies. So let's wrap it up with this freaking gem of a book, Matt Ritchie.
Oh yes, that wasn't the last.
Don't forget this. Don't forget that one.
So last week,
oh my gosh,
Batman 66 meets the Legion of Superheroes. Another all red. Book.
Whole crew did that one.
Good grief, man! That was
same team that's doing Bug
comic
is doing that issue.
It felt really similar, just in the writing style, dialogue, and that is not a bad thing in my book. What was really funny, Justin and I were talking about a little bit before we started recording, and it really felt timely and felt like it kind of fell in place really well around an event we both went to. Gosh, was that like a little over a week ago? In Riverside, here, the town where we live, at the Fox Theater. They had a Batman 66 screening with a bunch of fun stuff happening. A band and costume
Batmobile was there.
Contest. Yeah, the Batmobile,
dude. That car is so awesome.
So, I mean, this was really fun because I still feel like I was feeding off of that vibe.
Yeah. Wasn't it cool? But, sorry, before we get in the book, like watching the movie.
Watching that with a room full of people was awesome.
Like, I mean, I've seen that movie like hundreds of times, you know?
Yeah.
And then watching it with people, how they reacted and how they were laughing at the Robin. You know, Robin solving the riddles was hilarious. And they're like, you know, Robin's like, you know, an ape, it's sitting in a tree or whatever, you know, with a machine gun. Like, they're just like, of course, Robin, yes.
So this book felt completely like in line with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, yeah, this could have been an episode of the show. Just crazy, wacky
you can hear
stuff.
the voice. It's kind of like, man, this like DC finally embracing like the Adam West Batman a few years back when they got the rights back to everything.
When they started doing that digital first.
Yeah, that I was buying that actually for a good while. I have most of it on digital because it was just fun comics. And then they had
a crossover with
the Green Hornet,
and now with Wonder Woman.
They've done the Avengers, like the British Avengers show, like the Emma Peel type of deal. And then they've done Wonder Woman 70 something where they go up against Ra's al Ghul and stuff. So they've done a lot of different like little miniseries with it now. Now that they've done they did the DC digital first thing, so that's kind of done. Now they're just doing these little one shots here and there. This has been like I've read a lot of that stuff. This is at the top right there.
I love that this is a one shot too.
Michael, the Allreds are a great pairing with that because he's done pretty much all the covers. I think for all of them, there may have been one or two he didn't do that I think like if I go in my brain I'm like, oh, I feel like this other guy did a couple of covers, but he just evokes that feeling like he fits really well in that. And
gosh, dude,
it's good. It's so fun, man.
Creative layouts, like the page where it looks like a board game, like that's kind of telling the story of Batman basically like outsmarting Brainiac, like, and I love that the first time you see what's the name, Egghead and Universo, that I'm like, oh, that completely looks like Vincent Price. Like, that's wonderful. No, I mean just that it's accurate. Some of the guys
like they can't get the it's weird, they can't get the likeness of like Gordon from the show for some reason, but
I love the likeness is there.
Yeah,
and I know that's who played him in the show, but I'm just that the fact the likeness is there in a book, I'm like, man.
Excellent.
So good.
I love that the Legion is just coming back in time. Like, we're going to recruit Robin because he's a cool teenager. Like,
he's the coolest.
That's the plot. That's the greatest.
I love that he's the coolest.
He is the coolest, dude.
He is the coolest.
And then they're like, you have no powers. You suck.
Oh, dude. And who did they shave? Did they shave?
They shaved Chief O'Hara's head.
Yes. That's what those random kids.
Yeah. Like, what's up with those kids? That
walking away. Oh, gosh, dude.
It is, like, seriously, it came out a couple weeks ago. If you have not bought it, if you're even remotely a fan of like Batman 66, it's so fun, dude. It's just a big bag of bananas. It's hilarious.
Love it, dude.
I loved it. It was like,
gosh, man.
And you when you're reading it, you hear the voices. You hear Adam West and you hear Burt Ward, and like Legion just kind of sounded like 60s, 70s cartoon character voices to me. Like that's kind of what I heard, and so.
I love the
really
Jimmy
fun.
Olsen like references.
Yeah, with the Turtle Man. And then at the end, like, not a huge spoiler, but like he's like, maybe I should hang out with the teen. That would be Titanius or something like that. Like he makes some Teen Titans reference at the end. Like, hey, Robin, maybe there's some like-minded civil.
That's a Titanic idea.
Yeah, that's a Titanic idea. Like there's some civil-minded kids here in 66 that you can pal around with. And so that's fun.
Dude.
So I hope they do more. Dude, like, Allred should just do the rest of just do some Batman 66 one shots. I would love a Batman 66 Teen Titans thing. So
yeah, man, it's all so good. Like it's hard to just even pick like specific little things to talk about because I'm like the whole thing is just
the whole thing is big fun, and Batman going around flying around with the Legion rings fun, and him outsmarting Brainiac and them learning. I mean, it's really like where it's going to go at the end. There's like, guy, I guess. People in the past are pretty smart, even though they don't have computers, Batman.
And I love like the very last thing with Brainiac is like, oh, I'm sure we'll be fine as long as we turn our dials to the same bat time, same bat century. I'm like, I love that.
Good stuff.
I love it.
So that book, that's a freaking gotta go. And I wish we can give it a greater honor because
it deserves it.
It deserves it. It's just a really fun book.
Yeah,
man.
I couldn't wait for you to read that, dude. The moment I finished, I was like, dang it, Justin needs to read this right this moment.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm glad, dude.
So
that was really fun. So
cool, man. I think
this has been a long show. It's been a fun show.
It's a good there's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, there's a lot to catch up on, man. Like
lots of comics.
A lot. And there's probably gonna be stuff I'm like, oh, we didn't talk about that. But
always,
man.
It
is
always
what it is,
forever.
man. It is what it is. So remember to follow us on social media. Hit us up on Twitter and Instagram. Tell us what books you're reading, which ones you like, where you disagree with us, or what is something that we probably need to be reading ourselves. So do that. You can hit us up on Twitter, Instagram. But we have a contest for you. What we would love for you to do is go to YouTube, look for Let's Go Podcast, find that, subscribe, and like that channel. Because if we get up to 100, we can start doing some different type of program, which we want to do on there. That's part one. Part two is go to iTunes, subscribe. If you've already subscribed, great. That's amazing. What we want you to do, though, is leave a 5-star rating and a positive comment. If you do that, you will be entered into a running to win some free Let's Go Comic Show swag. You like swag, Matt Ritchie?
I love swag.
He loves swag. So we want you to win. We're going to be running this contest till August 31st, and then we will pick 2 winners to receive some Let's Go swag, whatever you want. And here's the thing. If you're like, man, I just want to buy some swag anyways, that's awesome. You're still eligible to win. So go to letsgocast.com/merch, and you'll get a link to where you want to buy some stuff. And all that does is help us put the show out, because the show's not free. It's not like breaking the bank, but it does help a little bit if you can pad it because, we're putting the show out and we want to do better things and more things. And so with a little bit of support, you'll get something and it'll help us. So it's not like we're saying, give me $5. We're saying, hey, buy yourself a shirt or whatever, and we'll take a little bit of money from there and we'll help put the show out. So anyways, thank you guys for listening so much. We're really excited. Again, hit us up. Engage with us. Matt, what are you on Twitter?
At Matt Ritchie, MatTrichey.
Hey, and I am at J_Rocca. So hit me up. We'll talk about Dark Knight Rises. It'll be great.
It'll be great.
It'll be great.
That's the primary thing.
Every week it goes there. I don't know
for.
why, and it's not even me. I don't instigate it. Other people instigate it.
Instigate sometimes.
Sometimes I instigate it, but whatever. So my name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.